It's the end of 2024 and you know what that means. It's time to do my year wrap-up video. I'm going to be talking about 10 of my favorite and least favorite blind buys that I have done this past year. And as you guys know, blind buying can be a high risk but high reward way of finding out and discovering new fragrances. And so with today's video, hopefully you'll see some of the ones that you should maybe avoid or discover some hidden gems. So if that sounds interesting, stick around and let's jump right in. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel. It is so great to have you, and hopefully you're having an amazing holiday season, depending on when you're watching this. Could be afterwards. But today we're going to be going over some of my favorite and least favorite blind buy fragrances of this past year. So let's start off with some good. So starting off with a really great blind buy fragrance. This one is from French Avenue, and this one is Azour Aoud. This is a wonderful cheap version of Oud Maracuja, and it definitely has a nice oudi vibe to it. It's kind of smoky, salty, and it does have that really nice fruity passion fruit note in there that makes it smell absolutely unique. Didn't love this one at first, but you know, I've definitely come around to this one, and I love the quality in this stuff. The agar wood note that they have in here smells a lot higher quality than some of the other oud fragrances that I've smelled, but really that passion fruit and some of the rose in there make it just smell absolutely heavenly, and I love this DNA so much. And that one is French Avenue's Azour Aoud. For a fragrance that I do not like, I cannot stand this fragrance at all, and I know this is going to be very divisive. Some people swear by this fragrance, but I cannot stand it. This one is Afnan's 9 p.m. Now, this fragrance is definitely duping that Jean Paul Gaultier Ultra Male DNA, but there's something so synthetic and screechy about this fragrance, and it is just too sweet for my likeness. It smells literally like bubblegum and like apple shower gel. I just don't see the appeal. And there is a little bit of like a cinnamon spice in here, but just whenever I wear this on my skin and I smell it on people in the public, I can't help but just kind of recoil every time that I smell it. Just my personal opinion. But yeah, some people absolutely love this one, but again, this one just does not agree with my nose, and that one is Afnan 9 p.m. Now, for a fragrance that always makes me smile whenever I smell it, my God, this stuff is so fun and easygoing. This is Afnan Turathi Blue, and this is going to be a very nice $20 version of Bulgari Tiger, and it just smells so citrusy, uplifting, and it is a fun fragrance. I love wearing this in the summer to the office because you have that nice grapefruit, some of like an ambroxan note in here, and it just smells so fun, and every time that I wear it, I feel like I just get in a better mood. But this really is a great budget fresh, and I highly recommend it to anyone who just wants to smell fun. Now, for a fragrance that, again, this one just fell way flat for me personally. This one is from Paris Corner, and it's called Marge Moscow Mule. I have smelled the fragrance that this one is duping. When I compare them side by side, I always pick the original from by Kilian. This one, for some reason, I think the vodka accord that they have in here, or whatever they're using in here, just smells so synthetic to me, and I feel like I'm just allergic to this stuff because whenever I spray it on myself, I instantly get a headache, I feel lethargic, and honestly, I'm probably just allergic. But I don't necessarily get that with the original one, so it has to be something that they're using with these cheaper chemicals. Now, I do like the dry down, and I do like it when I smell it from afar because it does have that nice kind of aquatic, sweet, smoky vibe, but I just don't like this one. And that one is Paris Corner's Marge Moscow Mule. Now, next up is a really fun, leathery, fruity fragrance with a nice bit of like an Egyptian musk. And this one is Ahmed Al-Maghribi's Marge. Again, this one I've talked about many times on my channel, and I love how this stuff smells. It's a very fruity, peachy raspberry in the opening, and it smells very clean, and it does have that nice Egyptian, Middle Eastern smelling musk. So it smells kind of like linens. You also have that really nice suede leather vibe and a touch of an agar wood note in there, like just a small hint where it just gives it a tiny bit of that kind of sultry feeling. This one's definitely unisex, and I can actually see this one leaning a little bit more feminine, but I love the way that this smells on me and how it trails behind me because it's very sweet. And again, that suede and those fruits in here just smell absolutely fantastic. And that one is Ahmed Al-Maghribi's Marge. Now, this fragrance I had super high hopes for. I wanted to like this one. It was in a blind buy, and it was probably my worst worst blind buy haul that I have ever done. I hated every single fragrance that I got from that haul. So sometimes you win some and sometimes you just strike out. But this one is Amir Cherry Cola. I do like the original Mancera Tonka Cola to an extent, and this one, for whatever reason, the cola note that they use in here smells so screechy. It's just a rough cinnamon clove vibe, and I know that there are those notes in actual cola, and if you look into the flavor profiles of like Dr. Pepper and actual cola, you will see that there is like a licorice cinnamon spice in there with a little bit of clove. I like the cherry vibe. I like the dry down, you know, like 3-4 hours after I've sprayed it, but to each his own. And again, there are going to be people who love these fragrances, and these are all just my opinions, and everybody's nose is going to be different, but for me, I couldn't stand this one, and that one is Amir Cherry Cola. Now this fragrance I was so excited to buy, and I am so happy that it worked out, because this one, Lattafa LFA S, is one of my favorite vanilla fragrances from the Middle East of all time. In fact, it's one of my favorite vanilla fragrances in my collection. You have a very strong vanilla, you have like a salty, playful, slightly Play-Doh vibe with this one, because it is going to be inspired by that Tom Ford Vanilla Sex, just like it has in that one. It's like a Play-Doh sweet vanilla, but I feel like this one definitely smells a little bit more refined, and it has a nice bit of like a Tonka cinnamon sweetness in there, and the stuff just smells so heavenly. Plus the bottle looks absolutely nuts on your shelf, and every time that I have people over, this is the bottle that they always grab and gravitate towards. There's just something about its presentation and its presence that demands respect. But this stuff is super good, and I actually wore it on my birthday this year because I wanted that nice vanilla cake vibe, and this definitely did that. And that one is Lattafa LFA S. Now for a fragrance that didn't work out on my skin, this fragrance, I love the DNA, I love the smell of it. It is a great price point. It's like $20, but the longevity unfortunately was terrible. This one is Maison Alhambra's Alpine Homme Sport. This is going to be a Chanel Allure Homme Sport dupe, and I think it smells really close, and it isn't going to be the most high quality smelling fragrance, but again, for $20 it gets you very close. But unfortunately I get maybe 3-4 hours out of this stuff at most, and it dies off very quickly. But maybe I'll have to revisit this next summer when it's macerated a little bit more. But even in the summer when I first bought this one, it just didn't last. And that's a true shame because it smells really good. And that one is Alpine Homme Sport by Maison Alhambra. Now next up is a really amazing hidden gem fragrance. It's about $60 and it's from the house of Al Haramain. And this is again a true hidden gem. This is Haramain Portfolio Imperial Oud. I cannot believe the quality of the oud note in here. Again, it smells very high quality. It smells like the oud note that's in Electimus Sumanis I have. It's like a $300 fragrance, but the name Imperial Oud definitely matches the juice in here because it's animalistic. It's got that very musky, rough, animalistic amber, and it also has a really intense rose note in here, and it's gonna smell very Middle Eastern smelling. And for some people, that animalistic oud, rose, saffron combination is going to be a little bit played out, but I love the way that it smells here. It just smells expensive, and I find myself just grabbing this fragrance because I cannot believe the quality of the oud. It's peppery, it's resinous, and it definitely just lives in my head rent-free. And that one is Imperial Oud by Al Haramain. Next up is a blind buy that I bought from a Burlington. It was $13, and you know, this fragrance house does have some really great fragrances, but they also have some that honestly, you don't need them. You can pass on them. And in my opinion, you can pass on this one. This one is from Milestone Perfumes, and this one is Bois Noir pour Homme. So this is gonna be a Lalique Encre Noir dupe. And you know, with that fragrance in particular, I don't necessarily enjoy that one. This definitely captures that DNA very faithfully, and that's probably why I don't like it. So my gripe isn't necessarily with this, it is more towards the original Lalique Encre Noir. There's something about the cypress and the vetiver in here that just triggers my fight or flight for some reason. Like I get anxious whenever I smell this, so I don't know if it was somebody in my past who wore something like this, or if those notes just don't do it for me. me when they're this strong and concentrated, but to me, all I can smell is that cypress and just like a really fake synthetic wood in this one. So for that reason and those really cloying woody notes, I can't recommend this one. And that one is Bois Noir by Milestone Perfumes. So I'm actually gonna break this video up into 2 parts. So that is it for the first part. Let me know some of your thoughts down below if you agree or disagree with some of my controversial takes on the fragrances I don't like. But regardless of what you wear, as long as it makes you comfortable, that's all that matters, and I applaud you for that. Thank you all so much for watching this part 1, and I will see you guys in the next part. I'm Eli with Common Sense. Until the next time, bye-bye.